Good evening, 7th graders, and welcome to your third lesson on flipping math. And we have here 1-3, which is talking about writing and evaluating expressions. And in this lesson, we have two main objectives. First, you should be able to evaluate algebraic expressions. And second, you're going to be able to solve problems by evaluating these expressions. And those ones usually mean the word problems. So yes, you get word problems. Okay, and here's our warm-up. Simplify or solve each expression. And, this comes up with yesterday's lesson on order of operations. So I think I'm going to give you a chance to solve these, and then we're going to just check to make sure you get them right. So why don't you pause the video now? All right, so if you were to solve this, again, you need to keep in mind for order of operations, you do parentheses, then you multiply or divide, and then you add or subtract. Again, whatever comes first. And I'm going to fix that multiplication sign. That looked a little sad. There we go. So number 1, 6 times the sum, 9 plus 1. Well, there are parentheses here, so we start in those. And we have 9 plus 1. Well, that is 10. And then we have, again, 6 times 10, which is 60. So our answer here is 60. Whenever you have the number on the outside with the parenthesis by it, that means to multiply. So you need to keep that in mind. Number 2, we have 17 minus 2 plus 3. So if you go through the steps, well, there are no parentheses. There's no multiplication or division, so we're down here. Adding and subtracting, whatever comes first. Well, 17 minus 2 comes first, so that's where we start. 17 minus 2 is 15. And then we have to rewrite it, and we get plus 3. Well, 15 plus 3 is 18. There we go. So that was a little bit of a reminder from yesterday. And this is going to help us in today's lesson. So it's really important that you understand the order of operations, because this builds on it. And in today's lesson, we actually start with a term, and it's to evaluate. In math, you're going to see the word evaluate a lot. And this means to simplify or to solve these expressions by replacing each variable with a number and then solving. So in the first lesson we did, 1-1, we had to write in variables. We left it as x plus 10 or x divided by 30. Here, they're going to give us an expression, and we need to write it out and solve it. We're going to put a number in. So we're kind of flipping it. So here's what they give us. Evaluate 4y, meaning 4 times y, minus 15 for y equals 9. Well, this is the expression they give us. 4y minus 15. And again, if it helps, put that multiplication symbol in between the 4 and y. If that's going to help you to remember to multiply, do it that way. Now, we need to figure out what our variable here is. Well, it's y. And they tell us we're going to replace y with 9 because y equals 9. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. 4 times 9 minus 15. So now this is like a lesson from yesterday or a problem from yesterday. We just have order of operation to do now. We have 4 times 9 minus 15. Well, we either multiply or subtract. And according to those steps, we multiply first. So 4 times 9 is 36. And I rewrite the rest. Now we have 36 minus 15, and that would give you 21. Our answer here is 21. All right, now we have example 2, which is a bit more difficult because there's not one variable here, there's actually 3. So you need to be careful to make sure you put the right number in for each variable. So I'm going to move this up so I have a little bit more space, because you might have noticed I like to write a little big. 3 times a times b, and again, I can put in those multiplication symbols, plus c divided by 2. All right, so I'm going to just start at the beginning and then make sure I replace everything. A equals 2. So I find my A. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to put that in. And then B is 5. So I put that in for 5. And I do like to put my little parentheses around here because it keeps those numbers separate. I make sure I know it's 2 times 5, not like 25 or something like that. And then we have plus c divided by 2. Well, c is 10. Now on this one, we have 3 times 2 times 5 plus 10 divided by 2. So there's a little bit of work, but again, order of operation will tell us how to solve it. 1, no, there's no parentheses or work to do within parentheses, so you skip that. Now we're to multiply or divide. Well, there's definitely multiplication. We have 3 times 2, 2 times 5, and we have 10 divided by 2. So again, you start from left to right. And, well, our first multiplication here is 3 times 2, so I write that. And now I rewrite the rest of the problem. And you'll notice as you go through these steps, the problems actually get easier to do as you go along because you start losing numbers. All right, you solve all those parts. So the problem gets a little bit smaller and easier to work with. Now we have 6 times 5 plus 10 divided by 2. Again, we still have to multiply or divide, but multiplying comes first, so we do that. 6 times 5 is 30. So now I have 30 plus 10 divided by 2. Now I have to solve from here. I could do 30 plus 10, but that's not what I'm supposed to do first. I'm supposed to divide. You divide before you add. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I'm left here when I rewrite it with 30 plus 5, and that is 35. You should have had 35 for this one. All right. Oh, and then we get a word problem. So number 3, the Omelet Cafe buys cases of 36 oranges. So within every case, you'll find 36 oranges. 8, write an algebraic expression for the number of cases the cafe should buy for X oranges. All right, go ahead and solve that now. Why don't you pause the video? Yeah, try to do A or B, and then go from there. All right, so hopefully you had a chance to solve this. A, write an algebraic expression for the number of cases. This is where it gets tricky because you might want to put 36 times X or something like that. But we really need to know just how many cases you'd end up with for, or if you bought X oranges. So here, I believe, well, we know each case has 36. So we do X divided by 36. Because this, again, is if we had 50, 100, 80 oranges, if you divide it by 36, that tells you how many cases you have. So you should have X divided by 36 for A. And then B, evaluate the expression for 180 oranges. Well, we know X is the number of oranges, so you plot that in. 180 divided by 36. And we can solve that. 180 divided by 36, and that tells me, oh, 5. We have 5 cases if we have 180 oranges. So sometimes those can get tricky, so you need to read them carefully. All right, here is number 4 now. It's another word problem. The one pizza restaurant makes only one kind of pizza, which costs $16. The delivery charge is $2 per pizza. Write an algebraic expression for the cost of having pizzas delivered. That's the first step. Okay, because really, if you read this through, there's 2 jobs you need to do. First, write an algebraic expression, and then 2, it says evaluate the expression to find the cost of having 2 pizzas delivered. All right. Now, some of you might want to just solve and say, oh, this would be the cost. But you're missing part of it. They want an algebraic expression. So I think I'm going to help talk you through this one, and we'll go from there. Now, we know there's a pizza restaurant that makes really only one kind of pizza, and it costs $16. You can order 1 pizza at $16. You can order 2, and each one will cost $16. So if we're looking at the unnamed piece here, we're missing really, P. We don't know how many pizzas we ordered. So we're going to need to figure that out. So for pizza, we're going to put in P. All right, now we know each pizza costs $16. So Each one is 16. So if I bought one, it'd be $16. If I bought two, it'd be 32, and so on. I could buy 10 for 160, and so on. Now, for these, you could do 16 plus 16. You could do 16 plus 16 plus 16, and so on. But the simpler way to do this is to multiply. We know each pizza costs $16, so 16 times P. Because if you multiply every pizza by 16, you're going to get the cost of it. However, that's not the only cost you pay. If you've ever had a pizza delivered to you, you know, sometimes they have a charge because they're using their gas money to come to you. And they tell you $2 per a delivery. That is how much it costs for the pizzas. Now, it doesn't matter how many pizzas you got. It could be the one pizza. It could be $10, or 10 pizzas, excuse me. It only costs you that $2 extra. So it doesn't matter how many pizzas you have for this part. We just know that there's an added cost of 2. So because it's added, you add on that $2 at the end. This would be part 1. All right, this is your algebraic expression, $16 times P plus $2. That will give you the total cost. Now we're under the red part here. Evaluate the expression to find the cost of having 2 pizzas delivered. Well, we're going to replace P with 2 because we got 2 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And we use the order of operations. 16 times 2 is $32. And you add 2 more to it for that delivery charge, and you get $34. The cost of that pizza was $34. All right. And again, sometimes it takes a little while to get used to those word problems. So you need to practice, and you may need to make sure you're reading it carefully. That's the end of this lesson. So I will see you in class tomorrow. Night, girls.